we're playing another league now, following on from the blue-white Battle of Wits deck. Not going perfectly. I really liked the Teachings engine in that deck, so we've ended up making 108 cards Mystical Teachings. Which is probably not terribly good, but I'm pretty excited to run it for a league. It seems like a bit more consistent than the Battle of Wits deck, at least. And like the Teachings engine was really what impressed me about that deck, so... Ooh, is this Pox? I mean Arak, sorry, same thing. We're playing Mystical Teachings, stream team. We've got like a huge deck to help enable the Mystical Teachings. I'm gonna get Wrench-minded next turn. It's gonna suck. Yeah, just kind of a value deck, pretty much. Value blue-white control. Blue-white control designed to win the mirror, I guess, is one way you could look at it. Oh wow, we already got black mana because of the Urborg, so I don't even need to go get a black source here. It's kind of adorable. Are they going to resolve Liliana next turn? I should maybe have cycled this, I don't know. If we'd drawn a land, we'd want to be able to cast out a Liliana. I'm like pretty scared of Liliana. But I guess we've got Path to Exiles to ditch, so it's not like the end of the world quite yet. Alert, alert, alert. Alright. Sure. I guess I could have cycled one of these to find a counterspell. I think I'm just going to draw for turn though and try and hit my land drop naturally. And then like only cycle them if I whiff. Is my current plan. Because if I hit the 4th land drop naturally, it's just so good for me. Alright. Well, that sucks, but we just get to cycle these now to find our land drop. Apparently we would have hit. Okay, I guess I just play this and say go. It's possible I want to cycle this. Try and hit my 5th land drop for Teferi. That's fair, Marcus. I'm unsure. I was just thinking hitting the Illumination seemed good against their deck, but I guess we have so many good cards we're drawing into as well, since our deck is just like card advantage the deck, that we probably could have waited on that basis. I think I'm going to go ahead and cycle this, because now we've got the Teferi we can cast next turn if we hit a land. Alright, that's a great draw too. Just like an excellent one. So we're kind of just both cashing in bad cards here. It's whatever. That one's pretty good. We got D-Sphere for them, so it's not like the end of the world. Yeah, you're right, Marcus. We're just gonna top deck better than them, so we should have done it on that basis. I agree. Do I want to cast out the Lily or just like Teferi Plus? I don't hate Teferi Plus. Only problem is protecting. I guess next time we get to D-Sphere Plus cast out with the extra mana. Alright. This is fine. It does look like a black-white control deck, I agree. Seems kind of sweet. Seems like Nassif's black-white sewer deck, honestly. Right, we get to discard Colonnade, D-Sphere the tokens, end of turn cast out Lily with the untapped mana from Teferi. just like deals with all their stuff and keeps our Teferi ticking up. Obviously they could have a removal spell to save their spirits, but if they don't have that, we're in like a great position. And even if they do, we're like probably fine. If they don't make more spirits, they're just like not pressuring our Teferi enough. Sure. Alright, so the spirits hit Teferi here. Start chipping away. That's actually not a bad draw. That's some nice card advantage for later. Ooh, this is nice too. Right, we just want to de-sphere the tokens, I think, and cast out Lily. So I need to tap correctly. Alright. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell left after they've discarded these two. Sick. End of turn. Untap these. And cast this. Now our hand is just like super stacked and we have a Teferi on board. It's probably going to be pretty hard to lose this from this position. If they have another Lily, we get to discard Champion of Wits to it, which is like kind of absurd. Just like very nice value. Okay, this one's scary. This could get them back in the game if we don't find an answer to Gideon soon. I guess I can bounce D-Sphere to answer Gideon, but that's kind of slow. I can minus on Gideon too, but then they get to attack my Teferi. Interesting. I think I'm just going to plus here. I can go tap team to stop them attacking, which is something. I want to champ. I kind of want to hit my land drops. I'm going to cast this. What if we had Gideon in our deck? Then we would have good cards, Steven. That sounds like a mistake. Alright, let's find our land drop for the turn. And we'll start like tap drawing with Cryptics, whilst Teferi just draws us cards and gets us ahead. At some point we get to go tap, bounce the D-Sphere to D-Sphere Gideon, which is really nice. Eventually we'll draw a Wrath to clear up the Night Allies. Let's get rid of Remand Plains. Play our land for turn. Untap these. Alright. Wonder if I'm just meant to bounce the D-Sphere this turn. Even. Just like get the Gideon off board as soon as humanly possible. Oh wow, we're not going to have to tap. Yes, we are. No, they're only doing 4 to Teferi. As long as they don't kill our Teferi, I don't think we mind them getting in damage, is the thing. It's only if they kill Teferi that we're concerned. Shambling Vent's getting in some damage, but we just don't care. Like, as long as Teferi's drawing cards, we're happy. So I'm just going to let them deal 4. And then we get to bounce the D-Sphere, draw a card. And next time we get to D-Sphere Gideon, have Cryptic tap up. I think so. I think I'd rather draw a card than put 4 loyalty onto Teferi. I'm not too fussed about ultimating Teferi. We have lots of powerful stuff to draw into that will take over the game very easily. Lozzypoos, thank you for that subscription. Thank you for this Prime. Welcome to our new Night of Autumn. Everyone put some hearts in chat to welcome our new night. Thank you so much. Oh, no worries. I'm glad you enjoyed the list, Lozzypoos. We could de-sphere the tokens, that's true, but then they still get to attack with the Shambling Vent. I'm definitely going to cast out the Gideon, but then I think I'm going to just Cryptic tap their team. That's my plan. I'm glad you enjoyed the list so much, Lozzypoos. I'm like very, very happy with how the list ended up myself. Alright. Just cycle this, because we're going to untap 2 lands. To be fair, I made some mistakes with this too. It's not like always the easiest bet deck to play. I definitely threw like at least 1 game over the course of the weekend. Oh, we have to bounce the Shambling Vent? That sucks. Yeah, if they just move to combat, we have to bounce the Shambling Vent. Alright. We could actually be pretty annoying for us. You got 20th on the PTQ, that's good going. I didn't realise that. We just want to... We want to target correctly here. Return target permanent tap all creatures. So they can like Fatal Push their Shambling Vent here to kill our Teferi, which would be pretty bad for us. But then like we de-sphere their tokens and we're kind of at parity, except we're just drawing better than them. Because our deck has like such absurd late game with the Mystical Teachings package. What is this? Read the bones. I am surprised by the inclusion of Read the Bones. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. They're gonna take our D-Sphere here. So now we need to draw a Wrath or something to get these knights off the table to keep our Teferi alive. Pretty sure your opponent was surprised by the inclusion of Champion of Wits. Fair comment. Fair comment. Oh my god, that's so good. So good. Alright. Well then, we have all these fetch lands just sitting here that we haven't used up yet. Because of their Urborg. We can just get... Oh yeah, we could have just got 3 different Wraths. That would have probably been good, huh? I guess this is also good. This is also probably good. Alright, get our Prairie Stream. Cast our Supreme Verdict. Untap with Negate up. What would it take for me to not Mystical for more Mysticals? I must admit, Mystical for Mystical is currently what I'm hoping for this game. Hey there, Jarvis. Good to see ya. I like how we've just drawn like normal blue-white control cards and a Gifts Ungiven randomly. You wouldn't even know that that our deck is currently has 78 cards in it. Alright, those are some spirits. I guess we're getting an Elesh Norn in play this turn. Appreciate the bit war. Alright, let's draw some cards. See if we can draw the Elesh Norn naturally. Oh, we got this Ghost Quarter now, that's kind of sick. Gifts. It's kind of sad, I can't actually get a Mystical Teachings with this gift because I have to get Elesh Norn. So heartbreaking. I could get 3 Wraths and a Mystical Teachings. Our opponent's deck is the one that seems like nonsense to you, Jarvis. Noted. What do we want to change in this matchup? I guess the Iona can just name black, which is kind of nice. I'm nonsense. Jeez, so harsh, Jarvis. So harsh. So rude. Chromium seems bad against Liliana Edict. Do we want Surgical for Lingering Souls? That sounds horrendous, Marcus. Yes, Clique's quite bad against Lingering Souls, though. I was thinking Clique, like, kills Planeswalkers. But I guess it's just, like, so heinous against Lingering Souls. Thanks, Temperance. I don't know what else I want to cut. I think our main deck's, like, pretty good here. I could bring in another Negate. Like, all this stuff seems kind of bad. Just, like, all the random removal. It's possible we even do just want Chromium. There's something big to go over the top of them, but I'm too good to be playing all these good cards and should even up the odds by playing more 6 and 7 mana enchantments. Oh my god. Opponent doesn't even know we have Mystical Teachings in our deck yet. Metallurgic summons. Metallurgic summonings is good with Hieroglyphic Illumination. That much is for sure. Alright, I'm going to be cycling this, I think. Cycle this farmland. How are we doing? Also, hi Kaylee. Good to see you. We won freed with Battle of Wits. So I've gone off the deep end and brewed up 107 cards Mystical Teachings. Which looks a lot more like functional blue-white control. And a lot less like complete garbage. which I guess is a good place to be. Don't let the looks deceive you. Oh my god, Marcus. You are harsh. You are harsh. Have I have not fallen under league with Mystical Teachings yet, no. Indeed not. The Bit Wars are great. I say this with completely no bias that the Bit Wars are great. Love you too, Jarvis. Alright. Go get our Watery Grave. It's an exciting one. What's the greatest loss, Caius? What is the greatest loss? Our opponents won't blind name Battle of Wits with Meddling Mage. Jeez. So good against us. How do we beat a Night's Whisper? I'm gonna cycle this land. We've already got 2 more land drops in hand and we're gonna find them pretty easily too. Kinda want to find something to do next turn. Oh my god, Temperance. Alright, I guess we're on the do nothing until turn 4 plan. Whoa! That's so aggressive. I wish we had the surgical emote. Why don't we have the surgical emote yet? They know we have a Snapcaster Mage in hand. Extirpate is actually good against Mystical Teachings, to be fair. But... jeez. Autumn 6 Surgical. Once I'm partnered, Surgical will be the very first emote. It'll be great. Opponent did one-up us. They sure did. Alright. How many D-spheres do we have? Do we have 2 or 3? I think we have like 2. Alright, they found one. They're currently looking at our deck in disbelief. They're like, what the hell am I playing against? Which is understandable, because I'm thinking, what the hell am I playing? So, like, kind of balances out. It's kind of sad. They get to play 2 mana for their divination. We have to pay 4. Maybe once we drew the Mystical Teachings, we're just meant to cycle this, since we can just Teachings for card advantage anyway. That is a Lingering Souls. I can kind of see that being legit. That once we draw this, we're just meant to cycle this. Oh my god. It crashes our opponent's client and therefore is good against Surgical. That's amazing, Kaylee. That is kind of glorious. Alright, now we just get to start drawing cards. Until such a point as we're forced to answer the board. Well, I am going to counter that. In fact. I'm going to resolve a Gideon. I'm going to feel kind of sad and then cast it out and move on with my life. I was joking about the Gideon. Alright. We have a Settle the Wreckage we can Teachings for, I guess. It's a bit slow, but it's probably fine. You can also, like, snap Cryptic just to, like, fog them. Which is nice, too. Spicy. If you pretend they don't have the card, they never have it. Are you suggesting that object permanence exists with cards? Or lack of object permanence exists with cards? Cards just don't have object permanence. If you're not thinking about them and not looking at them, how do they exist? Field of Ruin. Spice. Can tag a black source. actually have to go get an island here, right? So that we have quad blue for Snap Cryptic. I'm still wondering if I'm just meant to cycle this Illumination. Since we have so much card advantage already between Teachings and Snappy. Gross. That's pretty good. That puts us on 1 white mana. I think I'm now cycling the Illumination because I want to find another white source for next turn. So I can settle them. I don't think I need this Illumination particularly, the way our hand looks. Yeah, they've changed the list a bit from Nassif's, but it's very close. Skill game. And I would just up 1,000,000 cards on them. If they get a Planeswalker in play, we can Teachings for another cast out. Why do I bother worrying? An excellent question. An excellent question, Caius. Alright, they get the backside of a Lingering Souls, but that's like a 6-turn clock. It's kind of slow. I'm sure we'll cope. Planeswalker, Obnixilis. That's really strong. I wish I had a Celestial Purge in this list right now. We need a Celestial Purge in the sideboard, I guess. I didn't think of that. We should have a Celestial Purge on our board. It's like inexcusable to not have a Celestial Purge when we have Mystical Teachings. I should actually make a note of that one. I'm like 100% adding a Celestial Purge to the 75. Fort Seas. We have to negate this so that we can Teachings for cast out. The 75. Good catch. Good catch. Not quite a 75, I guess. Oh. Alright. Get this cast out. Cast this cast out. Obnix. Suddenly we're back at parity again, except I have Teachings in the yard. I can go get another Teachings. The 123 doesn't have quite the same ring to it. I think it's 122. I feel like it's 122. 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to get a plains. Oh no, I need a swamp, otherwise they can fulminate me off black. And I really want to be able to flashback Teachings next turn. The 75 non-lands. Oh my god, Kaylee broke it. Alright, we have to Settle the Wreckage, so we're kind of okay with some Lingering Souls. Like, if their plan is just to make 2 Lingering Souls for, like, each Wrath, I think that's fine, because we've got Teachings. We do not play Shambling Vents. We could play some Shambling Vents. It's not, like, a terrible idea. Oh, you're right, there's an Urborg in play. We suck. Jeez, Team Parallel. Jeez. Oh my god. It's almost like our opponent's playing good cards sometimes. Right, have the Teachings this turn though. I guess we're finding another cast out. We have to deal with these spirits too. But to be fair, Remand deals with one lot of spirits. I think we're gonna go find another cast out. We like top deck better than them, right? We top deck better than them. We just want to deal with the Liliana. And then we have Remand up for like another spirits. We cannot currently answer 2 of the 3 lots of spirits they have, and we top deck better. If we ever draw a Teferi, we just take over the game. Even a Teachings does a lot of work too. Alright, we now threw all 3 cast outs. Would I like to tap my swamp for black or black? Good question. So keeping a land in hand plays around another Liliana. But I think I still want to play it out. Simply because, like, if we have, like, draw 2s in our deck. We have, like, lots of draw 2s and stuff. They don't know we have Settle. They didn't see the Settle. The Settle we drew naturally. So they have no idea we have... Oh no, they thought... Did they resolve an Inquisition since then? Maybe they do know that, Jackalope. You might be right. You might be right about that. Yeah, Inquisition. For sure. I should do that, Jarvis. You're correct. Alright, I think this land I'm holding... Because we can still cast 4-drop into 4-drop. If we draw a Divination. So... Oh, that's disgusting. I think I'm just cycling this Remand at this point. To try and find like a Planeswalker or something. It means we're not remanding a Lingering Souls, but we need to find some action. Because we're like rapidly falling behind their card advantage. Portsies. Oh my god. And both of these decks are pretty wild. I'm not sure which is more wild. Not sure which is more wild. What? That was weird. Okay. You want to be doing what the opponent's doing? You and no one else. Read the Bones was like barely playable in Standard. We found the 4th Lingering Souls. I don't think so either, Jarvis. It's kind of great. Okay. That is a lethal board of Magic the Gathering tokens. That is not terrible. That is not terrible. Alright, so what I'm going to do is bounce a cast out to kill their Liliana. And then recast the cast out. So we return this one. This is so adorable. This is like delightful. We still need to find an answer to these spirits soon. Like next turn, but this treads water a tiny bit. Oh, I should have let them plus. I'm stupid. I should have let them plus. I'd have got a card from their hand, potentially. I'm really dumb. If they draw another Liliana, I feel really punished. Timing on that was all wrong. Timing on that was quite poor. Hey there, Guilty. Good to see you. No! I should not play out that land. Oh well, I'm going to force them to attack. They're like down on clock by 4 minutes. Obviously I should not play out the land because I have Settle the Wreckage in my deck, but... Alright, we're going to be on the play now. I think we're definitely bringing in the 4th Negate if we haven't already. Okay, we've brought in the 4th Negate. Why doesn't Wall of Omens have reach? I kind of want this Chromium. It dies to Lily Edict, but it kills all their Planeswalkers in the late game. It actually seems pretty good to me. Like, we'd have probably Mystical Teachings for that game. I'm pretty good, Guilty, yeah. I'm doing pretty well. So what do we want to take out for this? We could take out the Timely. It's like not great against them. It seems reasonable. Like, all these removal spells are really bad too, is the thing. Deck. Or Modo, rather. I almost wonder if we want, like, something like this over a removal spell. Leak Precious Planeswalkers, it's really bad against Lingering Souls, but it does pressure Planeswalkers. Maybe it's better than the removal. The removal's really bad too. Like, these just have no targets in their deck. They're kind of embarrassing. Cliques are probably fine, in all honesty. They're probably like as good as the removal spells. We could Surgical their Souls. This feels so loose to me. The Souls are annoying, but... I'm just wondering if we want Pulse of the Fields over something. Pulse of the Fields, like, basically cancels... This is basically like a Wrath for Lingering Souls. Forces them to, like, overextend. And we've got, like, so many bad cards. This feels questionable. This feels highly questionable. I could see this being very incorrect, but I really want to do it. I'm about this life. This is great. Lots of counterspells, just like the dream. Pulse of the Fields is basically like a Wrath. Obviously, why wouldn't it be? Are you denying the truth of Pulse of the Wrath of Gods? It sounds really good against them. The gifts can't be Inquisitioned, and we have a bunch of counter spells for like their Planeswalkers and card advantage. I'm just gonna get to turn 4 gifts and do some nonsense. Like, go get a Mystical Teachings or something. Fortsies. Alright, I guess I'm countering this. So that they can't take my gifts. I kind of want a Watery Grave at some point. The life loss actually matters though, and we also need another white source at some point. Also... I guess I can just get a Hallowed Fountain. Yeah, I agree. Definitely a Hallowed Fountain. They play Urborg. We're just going to wait for them to draw an Urborg. The dream. Alright, X equals 2. Nice. So now we have the 4th land for gifts. That's great. That is quite great. Get to like slam a gifts next turn. See how badly Modo crashes with only 110 cards. Alright, this can't take gifts, so I guess this one is fine. Does mean they can resolve a Planeswalker next turn, which kind of sucks, but... Certainly not casting a Logic Knot to counter an Inquisition that's, like, gonna take our Logic Knot anyway, right? Clique. That could take a Planeswalker. It's not terrible. I kind of want to find a Negate, though. Or a Cryptic. Well, this hand is absurd. This hand is wholly unreasonable. Off we go. I know, right? This is just great. No, go away. Go away, friend. This hand can be anything I want it to be. It really can. Like, in a very literal sense. Night's Whisper. I think that one's fine. Honestly. I suspect that one is fine. I don't know how we're winning on clock. It's kind of confusing to me too. I'm curious to see how long this Gifts Ungiven takes to resolve. With like a reasonable sized deck. Alright, so we wanted to Fairy. We want to Negate. I guess we want a Snapcaster, and we want a Teachings. A Snapcaster. We want a Snapcaster. I could also just get a Cryptic. That's also reasonable. Or another Gifts, maybe. This is so reasonably reasonably fast compared to last time. Alright, let's do this. I'm not going to overthink this. This is probably fine. Just don't want to lose too much of my clock. There's also a legit argument for just dumping an Iona in play here, but this is probably fine. We have we got to get a Snapcaster and a Negate. It's just like amazing. Amazing for us. If they do nothing, we get to Teachings again. If they do something, we get to counter it. Extirpate would be kind of brutal, but other than that, we're in a fine spot. Sure, Lingering Souls is fine. A-okay. Just get to flashback this Teachings and end step. What am I getting? Yes, a Cryptic sounds reasonable. Or a draw 2. I'll just get a Cryptic. This is great. This is pure magic happening over here. Just the purest magic in the world. Always get another Teachings. We can get one at some point, I'm sure. If I negate this, I get to cast Teachings. I guess I can just fire off a Cryptic though. Keep the cheap card in my hand. Lord of Innistrad. Oh. Understood, Jackalope. Understood. That is fine. I'm just gonna take 4 here. I don't really care. I've got Pulse in the Fields in my deck, so we're gonna be fine. No one's ever lost to the Pulse of the Fields in their deck. I mean, they just need to get through our counterspells somehow, right? Oh my god. This is great. Just good, clean magic. Well, that's kind of boring. I wanted to go tutor for Pulse of the Fields. This is so much less interesting. Yeah, Pulse of the Fields is actually perfect here, right? But we just drew a D-Sphere instead because we suck. We're just, like, really boring. Could also Teachings for Elesh Norn? How does... wait, Elesh Norn doesn't have Flash. And we don't have a Teferi in the deck. to give it flash, sadly. I just let this resolve, right? I don't really care. They're going to take my Logic Knot anyway. Oh, teachings for gifts for Elesh Norn. No, you're right, you're right. There's the back door. Yep, yep. For sure. Now we can teachings for Negate. In response to their garbage. Find this Prairie Stream. Cast teachings. I am delighted with this deck. This is a true masterpiece if I've ever seen one. This is so great. It was a long road to get to us playing Mystical Teachings instead of Battle of Wits, but we figured it out. You're building this in paper? I mean, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. Please don't cast something I have to counter. I wanted to keep the mystical chain going, but we have to counter this, probably. Which one do I have? I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I let them draw a card, I can teachings for teachings and then teachings for cast out. So I guess that's what I'm doing. I could just teachings for a Cryptic, and that's probably fine. Whatever. I'm just going to teachings for Cryptic. Don't get fancy. Yeah, I'm like not far off having this in paper. I'm kind of tempted to take this to an F&M or something. Counterbounce my snap. That is the line. Agree. And then they can't actually win. That is a good shout, Jarvis. Oh, also strong magic card. Also strong. I could start Fate Sealing, but drawing cards is just so much more fun, you know? I just want to have fun. Is that so wrong? Is that so wrong? That's disgusting. It is awkward that Rest in Peace is actually, like, not bad against our deck. Oh, we get to tutor for Chromium next turn with Mystical Teachings. That sounds great. Right, cast Mystical Teachings. Get Chromium. Cast Chromium. Did we break Modern? I think we might have broken Modern. Feel like we might have broken Modern. Mystical Teachings for Chromium. This is great. This is just the cleanest living. Oh gosh. Gosh, gosh, gosh. Queuing with Burn into me. Oh my god. Oh my god. But we can Mystical Teachings for Pulse of the Fields, Jarvis. We can Mystical Teachings for Pulse of the Fields. That's actually really good. Huh. Alright, I'll negate your stupid Lingering Souls. Which they apparently have no interest in recasting. I think I'll be alive by that point. I mean, it's optimistic. I'm aware. Yeah, we also have Iona on red. I think we have some amount of game against Burn. I don't think it's, like, unwinnable. Alright, undefeated with blue-white mystical teachings. Normally I'd put the ads up here, but there are probably some people who've joined in who'd like to look at the deck list. I'm going to go get some water and some tea and a cereal bar, since I've been live for about 4 hours now. And then we'll hop into our next match in about 3 minutes. See if we can keep the win streak alive with mystical teachings. Back. Ooh, let's show those plugs. Thank you very much. That's fair, lassie. That's fair. Illumination is a bit clunky. No, I kind of like having some illuminations. Just to, like, help power through the deck. But I guess we have these to cast on turn 4 instead, which are a bit better. It's the Miser's Serum Visions that gets you. The Miser's Serum Visions is just clearly correct. Just clearly correct. Any interest in the new standard? Yes, because I'm gonna be at the GP Lille, which is standard, in like 2 or 3 weeks. like 3 or 4 weeks, I guess. And then I'm going to be at the PT. So I need to play lots of Standard for those events. Honestly, once Guilds releases online, I'm probably largely going to be playing Standard and Limited for most of my streams. That's something that is very likely to happen, since I have those events to prepare for, and I would like to do very well in them. This is fine. I can cycle this to find something to do early. Very hard to mulligan lands and spells in the dark with these sorts of decks. 4.5 weeks, okay. So that means the PT is like 6.5. I'm just going to find a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. If we have to cycle the Illumination, it's kind of painful, I guess. We can wait on that for 1 turn, I imagine. Even against a fast deck. We are not cycling the Illumination. Although, this actually indicates ad nauseum more than blue-white control, right? Most blue-white control lists don't have temples, whereas ad nauseum has 4. So it might actually just indicate ad nauseum. Weirdly. Oh, good pickup. Right, I'm just gonna go for my black source, I think. Yeah, it's most likely Adnors. They could be blue-white with like a Miser's Temple. And they are Adnors, so we're going to cycle this Illumination to find literally anything. We just need to find counterspells, desperately. Although our life total doesn't matter, so I could fetch Shock here to find my Watery Grave before cycling in case I draw an Opt. Cycle first though, who cares? Spinning a single card out of the deck isn't too relevant. Alright, so we're just looking for counterspells desperately. That is a very good draw. So that's going to help scry us towards counterspells. If we can flip it soon, that'll also help. We've even got the Field of Ruin to help like speed up the flip, potentially. So Unlife means they could have the kill next turn even, which is scary. They're probably not going to go for it right here. I want to champion just to dig for counter magic if they have the kill next turn. And that's like unfortunate, but this like flips search too. If this finds a counter spell, it puts us in like a good position, I think. I think I'm just gonna do this. Yeah, just champion to flip search. I think I agree. I think it's like really high upside for us, even if we do like potentially die. Like, if they have Spirit Guide ad nauseum, then whatever, good game. Right? Alright, we're not dead. I think they have like 2 to 3 basics. I don't honestly know off the top of my head though, Caius. It's been a... Like, the last time ad nauseum was relevant was when... It was like before Field of Ruin was in the format. So that isn't actually something I know off the top of my head. In before Double Spirit Guide, oh my god. Alright, let's put this in the yard, flip the search. Are we minusing on Unlife, or... Yeah, we could tuck Unlife. if we wanted. It's like kind of scary. But then we have Teferi on board that can start digging us towards counterspells every turn. Like, the chance we find Negate or Logic Knot off this is fairly low. That is not realistic, Marcus. I don't think that's realistic. Or at least not until, like, we're so far ahead that we'd win anyway. Alright, we're just gonna hope we're not dead. If we don't die this turn, we're probably in a pretty good position. We get to start drawing cards, making extra mana, digging for counterspells with a Scanter. And we've got like a clock on board too, with the champion. Alright, we're not dead. I like it. So let's go this, activate a Scanter, whiff on a counterspell, jeez, that sucks. We still don't technically have a counterspell in hand, and by technically I mean we actually don't have a counterspell in hand. So we could still die next turn. It's scary times here. Yeah, I think a Dispel main is just probably bad. There are like so many decks it doesn't do anything against. So we can't actually find anything here, right? So we should just let this resolve and look at their deck. Should see if there's anything weird about their list compared to most. We're playing the Mystical Teachings Mirror. A one of Angel's Grace. Oh my god, Caius. That's kind of adorable. Is that absurd? I feel like that's something you could put on your sideboard without being, like, too ridiculous. What decks would you want a single Angel's Grace against other than Ad Nauseam? Oh, opponent has a Plains and a Swamp. Good shout. Good shout, Marcus. Why didn't we cycle Farmland? Because I'm very silly. Is the actual answer. Alright, let's cycle the Farmland and see if we'd have got there. Oh, are they going for the Lab Maniac kill? Why would they go for the Lab Maniac kill? That's the only reason to make the Pentaporism, right? I mean, they have a Pact of Negation in hand, so cycling it doesn't actually achieve anything now. What? Do they even have enough Pact of Negations to protect against, like, double or triple path? Like, I know they have a Pact in hand. This seems weird to me. Why would they expose themselves to us just having a bunch of paths? Oh, I'm going to cast this. Obviously it's not going to do anything because they're going to Pact it, but... yeah, if they counter Snap... oh, they are not countering Snap. This is weird to me. If we just had another path in hand... they'd be in such a bad position. It just doesn't seem worth the risk for them, right? When they could just throw a large fireball at our face. We would not have got there off the cycle, thankfully, so I don't have to feel too embarrassed. Am I dropping frames, by the way? It says that I might be. If I am, it should fix itself in a moment. It generally doesn't last long. Alright, we get Dispels, Negates, Clique. Surgicals, maybe. It beats some combo decks, it doesn't beat all of them. Okay, hopefully it'll sort itself out in a moment. It generally doesn't last long. Cut some rafts. This Hallowed Burial. This Elesh Norn. I think we do want Surgicals just because we have a bunch of bad cards in the main deck. It doesn't beat KCI because they just kill you in your upkeep. It doesn't beat Storm because they just get you to 1 and then you can never beat a Grape Shot for the rest of the game. It beats Ad Nauseam though, as far as I'm aware. So it's good against Ad Nauseam specifically out of that list. So this is 15 in. This is probably fine. It's possible Fracturing Gust is better than something. Better than like a Blessed Alliance or a Path. Just because it can kill Pentad Prisms, but we have so many O-Rings and stuff, I think that's pretty unlikely to come up. Let's try this. Seems good. We have a bunch of dead cards in the deck, but it's not the end of the world. We have like lots of Dispels now too. I mean, KCI gets to literally put you to 1 life, and Pyrite Spellbomb you for the final time in your upkeep. Against Angel's Grace. This doesn't have any counter spells, but we have Champion of Wits, we have D-Sphere for like their artifacts. I think I'm meant to keep this. With like good mana. And go get a Watery Grave here. Alright, that's not great, but... Am I casting Tiago as an Ambush Viper? I might be. Like, get some pressure going whilst we... And then we get to dig for counterspells afterwards. I actually don't hate that. I think I'm in for an Ambush Viper here. Between this and the Champion, we're gonna have like a decent clock going. Incoming Simian Spirit Guide to block. Alright. I mean, the search is going to flip reasonably fast. The D-Sphere eats like an unlife. So I think I want the D-Sphere. I might just ditch the teachings. And like have double Logic Knot. We can't cast 2 Logic Knots in the same turn though, which is awkward. Because we got this Plains. So I kind of want to be able to teachings for a Dispel. That's legit. I guess I'm getting rid of a Logic Knot then. You discard the teachings. I really want to be able to find a Dispel. I feel like finding a Dispel is pretty strong against them. I don't know about this. I don't know if this is correct. Incoming Unknife. Cool. We get to de-sphere this. I'd love to get this search down, but I think I just want to keep this off the board. Hopefully we draw an untapped land for next turn. So they have Simian Spirit Guide plus Pact plus Adnors they kill us next turn. This is interesting. Is it weird that I kind of want to Surgical the Sleight of Hands just to see that hand? So I know what I have to play around and know if I can tap out for this Azcanta this turn. So I'd really like to tap out for this Azcanta this turn. But I don't want to do it if it's going to kill me. It's not like the Surgical is great against them in general. Like, if you can Surgical in Adnors, it's good, but most of the Adnors are going to kill you. So I think I'm going to do this. Autumn 6 Surgical. Yeah, this is a good moment for Autumn 6 Surgical. I think I like this. I think I just need the info. It looks embarrassing, but it makes sense. They bottomed with the Scryland, so we aren't undoing that, sadly, but... Wow. I kind of have everything. Jeez. So currently untapped land kills us. Well, they have Fort Caesars in their deck, that makes sense. How many untapped lands do they even have? Darkstick Shores, Seacrium Coast don't come in untapped. Temples don't come in untapped. So they only have Swamp, Gemstone Mines, Island. I guess they can also just cast an Ad Nauseam for value, but then they're going to die to our creatures. Yeah, Simian Spirit Guides, but if they use a Simian Spirit Guide, I guess they draw a Gemstone Mine, so they can still get 3 mana, because they wouldn't have played a land for turn. I mean, this is if we tap out for Search, Crania. This is if we tap out for Search. I think I'm still meant to do it. I'm like... Yeah, so they have 10 draws. I'm like 20%, 22% to die. But, you have pressure, keep logic not up on that basis. Yeah, it's true. We kill them in 3 turns. That's reasonable. That's actually very reasonable. Crania. We're killing them in 3 turns. We give them 3 turns to try and draw out of this. Like, find a Pact of Negation. I actually like that reasoning. I think that's correct. Bloom has 3 turns until it comes off. So now 2. Lab Maniac, just casting the Maniac, sure. Trades with a creature. I think that's fine. I'm going to cycle this Illumination now, because I'm going to do it anyway. If I get a remand, I can cast it here. Okay, that is fine. Lab Maniac hits the battlefield. That is a very small teacup, but it is. I like it very much. Dem 3 mana 2/2s, I know, right? Adnors is just 3 mana 2/2 tribal. So this buys them 2 turns on their against our clock. So if I attack first, then I play my search, hold up Logic Knot again. Just hope they don't find a Pact of Negation. And then the search gets to dig for more counterspells. Also, the search is going to flip next turn. Which means next turn we can even Mystical for a Dispel, because we'll have a 5th mana off of the search. That's like something we could potentially do. Alright. They have to keep they keep bottoming with the Skylands of note. I am 100% putting that in yard and 100% flipping the search. Both of those things sound great to me. There is an argument for just casting Serum Visions. Since, like, we kind of don't want to tap out for Mystical anyway. Because, then they can kill us with the Mystical on the stack. So I think I'm going to Serum Visions here. That's actually kind of great. Keep this Dispel on top. And now we can draw it and have 2 counter spells up. So now we have Logic Knot plus Dispel. And we have a 3-turn clock on board. If they get in a war over these, we get to untap and use Teachings or Ascanter to find another counterspell. I'm assuming I let this resolve. It gives them info, but I don't know how much the info matters. Yeah, sure, this resolves. The info doesn't really matter. I'd rather just keep my cards in yard. That's true, Matty. That is a very good point that I didn't consider. It takes a turn off their clock as well, if they don't manage to kill us here. That is like a very good point. They're now dead in 2. Realistically, I think if they don't kill us here, they're pretty unlikely to win regardless. Alright, untapped land would be amazing, because it would let us Mystical for another Dispel, so that we can still have 2 counterspells up. That's so good. That's so great. Jeez. So now we have Dispel plus Logic Knot up, which is just excellent. And they are aware that we have Dispel plus Logic Knot up, which makes things a bit awkward for them. Teachings for Pact, I assume. Interesting. This could actually be pretty bad for us. Taking Teachings for another pact next turn and then add Nors with double pact backup. There's not a lot we can do about it, though. Sadly. I think we just have to let this resolve. I think we're dead to untapped land now. Pretty sure we're dead to untapped land. They have three pacts post board. We saw 3 pacts when we surgicaled them. Oh wait, do they need 1 more mana than they currently have? I think they need 1 more mana than they had. Huh. So we can't Teachings now, because then they kill us in response. Because I was stupid and didn't Teachings in my end step, like someone suggested. This is still fine though. We have 2 Dispels left in our deck currently. So we're being punished here for not tutoring for the Dispel on our end step. Could actually lose us the game potentially. It resolves. Ad nauseum. Indeed. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is x equals 3. X equals 4. 5. If we do 5, then a single Spirit Guide. We know their hand is Spirit Guide plus Pact of Negation. So x equals 5 they can pay for with a single Spirit Guide, so we need to do 6. Like this. And this they can't pay for. Now they're going to Pact, and we're going to tutor for a Dispel, and then they have to... Then they can't actually get out of it very easily. Right? They can't actually get out of this very easily because they're only drawing 1 card a turn and they need 2 cards to combo. They kind of need to draw an Unlife next turn, but then we get to Teachings. So I think they can't actually win this anymore, is my suspicion. Despite us messing up. They also have to pay for the Pact too, jeez. So we let the Pact resolve so that they have to pay mana for it. They have a Teachings, that's true, but that uses a lot of mana and they're having to pay for their Pact next turn as well. So I think they're just like in a very rough spot here. They're going to go to 1. I don't know that they're dead, are they? But I'm pretty... They're like 99% dead. Oh, they could tutor Angel's Grace the Pact. I don't know how they'd win then though, because they couldn't cast a they could... Maybe they should have... If they tutor cast Angel's Grace, they're 1 mana short of casting a top decked Ad Nauseam is the problem. Holy shit. Alright then. I guess we're Teachings for, we're gonna cast Teachings for Path to Exile, huh? Joke's on you, our deck's too big, so we can't take out all our removal. We boarded out the Oust. Although we didn't see any big sideboard creatures, so I guess Oust might be better than Path. I was thinking Path also hits Lab Maniac, but that's not too relevant because they have so many pacts. I guess Oust is just better than Partha. Indeed, Mountain Mage. Indeed. Yeah, Oust gives them life. That is true. That is true. But it doesn't give them a land. I think it's probably better than, like, a Path on average. Anyway. Why is the deck so big? Because we have Mystical Teachings. Mystical Teachings makes you want to have a larger deck. So that you can fit in enough copies that you can justify casting Teachings for Teachings. Also so that you can fit in, like, sweet targets to 2-4. Sound sucks. Sound also sucks. But we've got a turn 2 search. Like, cycle this. I think I'm going to keep this. We have, like, a lot of bad cards left in post-board. Oh my god, doggo. Jeez. I mean, it's not ideal to have Supreme Verdict in our deck against Adnors, but we just have too many dead cards in the main. We have like a Champion of Wits, we'll get rid of it somehow, I'm sure. By I'm sure, I mean, it's incredibly unlikely. Aether Spelt as tutorable Hallowed Burial. Nice shout. No, this is so absurd. They get to take our search. Jesus. That might be game over. Just like pack it up right now. I think we might just be dead. Never mind, we're great. Alright. Well, this is not looking too encouraging, but... we do have this Dispel. Which is nice. We can reshuffle this Visions too. They went bottom top. They missed their land drop. Let's find a Stony Silence, please. One time Stony Silence. They went bottom top. I kind of want to field them here. Just leave them with awkward gemstone mine sitting there. Yeah, I agree, Caius. Fielding the temple seems nice. It seems very nice. I might have used up my 1 point multiple times in my life, in my Magic playing career. In fact. Is this the turn? This is the turn. Alright. Don't kill me, please. That's a bad sign. Never mind, we're great. Never mind, we're just great. Can't possibly lose. That was pretty good. Ooh, we get to Gifts Ungiven now. Stone Rain, oh my god. That is a Pentad Prism, friend. Oh, we get to go find Snapcaster Surgical in our pile. Oh, dear lord. This is something else. What? Verdicts are still in because we have too many dead cards and we can't board them out. We could also just make an Iona. How do people feel about making an Iona? Can they beat Iona on black? Our options are Surgical plus Snapcaster plus 2 Unbeatables, or Iona plus Unburial Rites. Both of those options are probably pretty hard for them to beat. I saw their deck last game. They don't have any, like, weirdo creatures. Teachings, Surgical, Snap, and a random. Oh, Teachings gets a Surgical. That's true as well. Jeez. I kind of like that. They probably can't beat any Iona, but this seems way more fun. Like, this is better against Pact of Negation plus Angel's Grace, right? This is much better against Pact of Negation plus Angel's Grace. Should they somehow have that combination of cards? Alright, so we get Snapcaster, Surgical Teachings. What is the fourth card? The fourth card could be the Gifts Ungiven for the Iona. Stony. Stony's decent. It's double Stone Rain them. Or Negates. That's also reasonable. I want the Stony. Stony or Dispel, yeah, I think I agree. This seems good. Alright. This deck is a treat. I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy we gave up on Battle of Wits, but decided Mystical Teachings was the good card in that deck. It is, Michael. Battle of Wits gifts was taking us like half a minute for each card we clicked. At least. I think we had a gifts that took like 3.5 minutes to resolve. Where it wasn't like we were even spending time choosing the cards. It's just like each time you click a card, it would lag out for 45 seconds. Luckily, 110 card decks are fine. Kind of. Ish. Question mark. Yeah, it was crushing it about a third of the time. For sure, Kaylee. It was like ridiculous. We get to Teachings for Surgical now. That sounds great. I could wait until their draw stat, but I don't want them to, like, draw a counter particularly. Alright, how can they win? They can only win with beatdowns, right? Lightning Storm, Spirit Guide, and Lab Maniac. Did they have a... Right, they don't have anything to draw their whole deck with Lab Maniac either. Cool. The, what's it called? The black spell that draws your whole deck. I can't remember the name. You, like, pay life when you name a card, and you just, like, name a card that isn't in your deck to, like, go through your whole deck and empty it for your draw step. Ooh, that one's nice. Spoils of the Vault, there we go. We got there. I'm gonna keep a Verdict in case they draw, like, 3 Spirit Guides. You never know. I mean, Lab Maniac plus Spoils wins them the game, technically. In a very odd manner. Yeah, they go Angel's Grace, Spoils, Lab Maniac. Outright holding up Negate is very decent. Although there's like basically no spell in their deck we want to negate is the problem. It's a tough problem to have, I'm sure. I shouldn't have F6. I could have tutored for a Cryptic, counter a Monkey. I'm a bit surprised they haven't scooped. I feel like scooping would be reasonable. Oh, they saw us lagging and we're at 3 minutes. That is reasonable. That makes sense. That makes sense. Nice, Cryptic. I like it. Teachings, get gifts. We can also just get Chromium. That ends the game quickly. Not gifts because of clock. Yeah, I got there, I figured it out. Got the Chromium instead. Like a sensible human being, I decided to Mystical Teachings for Chromium. Game is so much easier when your opponent can do nothing of any relevance. Makes the game considerably easier. We haven't 5-0'd with this. We're about to be 2-0 with this, so that's nice. Five-0 is going to take us a couple hours. God, we're like 1 damage short. We suck. We're just the worst. See ya, Caius. Whatever. Tutors for an Angel's Grace to buy them time. Oh, yesterday with Battle of Wits, we went 4-1 and then 1-3 in our 2 leagues. And we 1-3'd again today, which made me think Battle of Wits was not good. But the Mystical Teachings part of the Battle of Wits deck and the Gifts Ungiven part of the Battle of Wits deck were really good. So I'm now messing around with like 108 cards Teachings. Just add Gut Shot as a Teachings target, oh my god. And, I mean, we're currently 2-0. We haven't faced like any tier 1 decks or aggro decks yet, so there's that. But, doesn't feel terrible. Messing around is proper phrasing. It is an accurate phrase for what we are doing. Oh my god. Every time George looks at the stream has become more modern. We played against Ad Nauseam last match, Doggo. And then Black White Sewer the match before. I think we're already submitting our trade binder, George. I think this is already a trade binder stream. We are 2-0, yes. Alright, this sounds great. Hand can't lose. Incoming Cavern of Souls humans, hand can suddenly lose. Ooh, Temple Garden, huh? Oh boy. Eye roll. Do we have a Blessed Alliance in the deck currently? I know we have a Settle the Wreckage, but do we have a Blessed Alliance? Cool, we have a Blessed Alliance. That is great news. In our several million cards. I'm so happy. This deck makes me, like, deeply happy. That one actually does a lot of damage, so I guess I'm going to negate it. The great thing about having 108 cards in your deck is you don't have to worry about shuffling before or after the scry, because it's probably not going to end up mattering. They have not done that yet, Mountain Mage. Leak seems not great. I might kind of trade with this. Whatever. Cryptic's a decent one. Alright, our hand's actually not bad. We can get Settle the Wreckage with Mystical. Cryptic, like, buys time. Cast Out can hit a big enchantment. They have a lot of Rancors. Rancor's very good against us because they get them back when their creature disappears. Oh my god. Just like a 2-turn clock. Jeez. Kinda gross. We'd actually lose this. I think I still want this cast out though. Holy shit. What is it like? What is it like? The best thing is, we were so much more unlikely to draw it because of the deck being a million cards. It's so much more tilting when you draw your one of from your like 108 card deck. Oh, this is great. This is just great. Gain 4 life, you sack a creature. You think we're about 100% to draw it after George said that? That sounds pretty likely, Marcus. Sounds pretty likely. I get to start casting Rancors now. Gross. We have to counter one of them. I drew the Blessed Alliance. I did in fact. Draw the Blessed Alliance. Come on, George, you know I'm lucky. You're well aware of this. You are well aware of how lucky I am. Wouldn't mind drawing a land. I feel pretty unlucky to have not drawn a land in a little while. So just pass the turn here, right? It is one card in over 90. You are correct. You are, in fact, correct. Guess that resolves. I could counter tap, just leave them the one creature in play. I think this is fine though. Wow, they didn't even want to attack. Jeez. Now I get to go get Settle. What are they scared of? They're scared of Snapcaster? They must have been scared of Snapcaster, I guess. This is kind of great for us. Let's grab our Settle. Now we get to opt plus hold up Settle / Cryptic. They're in like a really rough spot. Love the face up Settle, just like putting it on the table. What are you gonna do about it? That's something to do about it. We can not deal with that very easily. I guess we just let this resolve. We can cast it out depending on how they attack, right? This is fine. I'll take one. That is A-okay. Cast out's good. I kind of want to take my land drop so I can go search plus hold up my stuff though. So I think I'm just going to bottom it. Perfect draw. Perfect draw, not close. To be fair, Iona on white probably isn't that easy for them to beat. Alright, we've discovered a flaw in the deck. We've discovered a flaw in the deck. Let's find a Champion of Wits, people. Let's find a Champion of Wits. I think I'm going to counter tap here. Also counter draw and just take some damage. Kinda don't want this staying on board. I know that much. I think this is pretty good. Look at me not leaving up white mana because I'm great at this game. My white spell in hand. Alright, that's a Rancor, sure. Oh, yeah. I want a land. It's all I want in life. Or a Wrath of God. Land or Wrath of God. Both be fine. Game 1 seems really easy. I'm worried that post-board we might have a bit more trouble because of Gaddock Teague. We have to like leave in a lot of removal to respect Gaddock Teague. Really. That's a Spider, Umbra. That's kind of annoying. Resolves. Alright, well, I feel like I have to settle this. It means I don't get to teachings this term, which sucks. I have a lot of live draws here. So, a lot of very good draws here. I get to suit up this one to make it pretty scary next turn, I guess. Maybe I should have teachings this turn, since they're going to get to put the Rancor on the Glade cover, and now the Glade cover could potentially be lethal. I think I went to teachings this turn and just go to... That was really bad. I should have just lost some life and got another, like, Snapcaster or Settle. I played that really badly. I could actually lose the game because of that. Not my finest moment. Jeez, I just want a land. Right, I obviously have the teachings this turn. I'm dead to so many cards because I messed up last turn. If I just cast teachings last turn, I think I'd be in a very good position. As it is, I could like very easily lose this. Shit, yeah, that does it. Does they have a rank or two? I'm pretty sure there's no 1-mana outs here for my teachings. God, I played this game really badly. If I play this correctly, I can just never lose. Oh well. I mean, obviously I, like, ran pretty bad, not, I ran pretty bad not drawing a land for, like, several turns and drawing both of these, but even then, like, I should have won this. We're not putting Holy Day in our deck, that sounds terrible. Alright, just have to win the post-board ones, make up for my error. Yeah, they have, like, no reach in their deck, so really, like, any non-lethal attack we should just take, I think. Until we, like, can get to blow them out. Like, as long as we have, like, other things to do with our mana to set up for future turns, you know? We get this Fracturing Gust, we get these Negates. Clique seems pretty bad. I think Timely is probably not great. What cards are bad? I think we want all the Wraths. They're like awkward against Umbras, but you can play around that to an extent. I think the Timelies are too bad against Rancor. And Condemn seem really bad because they don't hit the 0/2 ever. So it's possible I meant to bring in a Pulse over Condemn. It's also possible I could just have Cliques in to trade in combat. Like, sometimes the Clique gets to block the Bogle, right? Is there anything else we dislike? The Iona is just worse than the Elesh Norn, I think. So this means we get to have the Cliques in as, like, flash blockers. Maybe this is better than Elesh Norn. They're both pretty bad. They're both not great. By any means. This can't be, halved, though. Iona is enough of a headache for them, and Elesh Norn doesn't really do very much. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I agree, Mountain Mage. There are, like, board states where Elesh Norn's very good. Elesh Norn also just gets palved, though, which Iona doesn't. Which is really nice. Okay, let's go first. Let's make up for last game. I mean... Alright, let's play this game a bit better than the last one. There are the lands I wanted, I know, right? Put this path on the bottom, look for Wraths. Or Ionas. Could also look for Ionas. It's actually really awkward that we don't have many discard outlets in our deck. I guess we have Jace that can shuffle Iona back in. But when you draw the big things, it's much worse than it was in the Battle of Wits deck where we had 4 Champion of Wits. Slippery Bogle resolves. We are playing 108 cards, Dokomoy, correct. Just the purest magic. It does, doesn't it, Dokomoy? Agree. teachings. That's a nice one. Can find a Settle the Wreckage. We've also got a Clique that can trade with their creature now, which is nice too. Alright. See if they swing into Clique. Take a critter off the board. I don't know how it's meant to be pronounced, Mountain Mage. It's just how I enjoy pronouncing it. But there are definitely people who would not pronounce it that way. I think I've been told off for saying Clique instead of Click, in fact. Oh, I can get rid of my Iona. I was like, are we targeting them? But no, we just target ourselves and get rid of Iona, right? That is a lot. Jeez. Oh my lord. That is a lot. Oof. Alright, well then. Here we are. What am I doing? I could opt first and then crack Field of Ruin. It like wastes the shuffle. But if I hit a D-Sphere or something like that, I'm pretty happy. Alright, sure. It wastes the Scry, I mean. Our deck's really bad against Gaddock Teague. Our deck is not great against Gaddock Teague. Alright, I'm going to field their land, but I'm going to leave it till end of turn. I can get a Black Source to, like, reanimate the Clique, maybe. Oh wait, no, I can't even cast Unburial Rites. I'm stupid. Gaddock Teague is really problematic for us. Well, I'm happy they're putting them on the non-hexproof one. I guess that's to play around Blessed Alliance, right? That makes sense. Yeah, I'm kind of wishing we had that path right now, I'm not gonna lie. That would be delightful. Maybe we're meant to keep the path. Maybe we're meant to keep the path just because we're so scared of Teague. Like, Teague is so hard for us to beat. Oh my god, we get to start playing Magic again. This is so good. We get to start playing Magic again. Hey, Mason. Ew, what? Alright, we can teachings for another path. For the Spirit Dancer, I guess. Spirit Dancer's scary. Where is that going? It's going on the Bogle. Smart. It's common knowledge that the more cards you have in your deck, the better your top deck becomes. That is indeed how it works. No one can argue otherwise. We do have 4 different sweepers. We could just tutor a bunch of sweepers here. That's not terrible. It gets rid of both their creatures. I guess I do that. It like exposes me to another Teague, but we have a bunch of time versus another Teague at least. So we can go Gifts Ungiven. Oh, we could put an Elesh Norn in the graveyard. Good shout. Oh no, we boarded out Elesh Norn because Iona's better against them, but that looks really embarrassing now, huh? We actually want the Elesh Norn in this situation. I'm suitably embarrassed about that one. Alright, let's get it's so awkward. It's so incredibly awkward that they have Teague in their deck. I guess we can get the Champion of Wits as one of the 4 cards. So we can get Verdict, Wrath, Day of Judgment, and Champion of Wits. And then, like, if need be, we can use Champion of Wits to dig towards a Path or a Snapcaster. I have not 5-0'd yet. We 4-1'd, we 4-0 into 4-1'd with our first iteration of Battle of Wits, but then we 1-3'd twice. But since then I've changed the deck somewhat, because I really hated the Battle of Wits part of the deck and really loved the Mystical Teachings Gifts Ungiven part of the deck. So we're playing 108 cards Teachings. Just like, obviously, why wouldn't you play 108 cards Teachings? So Day of Judgment, Supreme Verdict, Champion of Wits. We could get Wrath of God, or we could dump Hallowed Burial in the yard for a Snapcaster later. I kind of like just having the Hallowed Burial in the yard for future use. Champion Day, Supreme Verdict, Burial. Verdict, Day, Burial, Champion. Alright, let's do this. This seems good. Champion of Wits is so good in this deck. It's kind of delightful. I am a fan. I'm happy we found a home for Champion of Wits in Modern. Alright. Got the scoop. Gaddock Teague, huh? We should bring in the Elesh Norn. After that game, we maybe should. I don't know. I don't want too many clunky things like that, is the awkward thing. But the Iona's not great either. I guess Elesh Norn is higher upside. It's also like castable, which is nice. Just got up to 109. The 109 dream. But Mason, that'll make our top deck so much worse if we have 109 cards. This is interesting. I think this is a keep. We have an opt to hit land drops, and then search helps us hit land drops. And settle is so good against them if we can like hit our land drops, and we're on the draw. We have answers to Teague. I think I'm gonna keep this actually. It's not amazing, but holy shit! Holy shit! It's so good. Oh my god! It hits Settle the Wreckage too. It hits Settle the Wreckage. Mind blown. Jeez. The old Frank Carsten article. If you're not playing 60 cards, 108 is the next best number. Oh my god, that ley line is just destroying us. Jeez. We need to draw a D-Sphere or a cast out for that at some point, realistically. So far today, Phil, we are 2-0 with this deck. It's pretty decent. To bottom that, just need to find lands. Awkward. I mean, we can't get Iona in play without Gifts Ungiven, London. Oh, we could have bounced the ley line, that's true. That's true. Right, I have to just answer the Spirit Dancer. That thing can't be allowed to stay on board. I guess I get a Plains just to keep my life total high. We'll draw into, like, blue sources for Cryptic eventually, question mark. Or I could get a Hallowed Fountain and take the 2. It's only already Cryptic that desperately needs lots of blue mana. Like, this is gonna kind of be a blue source. I don't really want to give them mana quite yet. I'm gonna oust this. I can path it when it comes back down in a couple turns. If they play a Teague, I get to shuffle it away, which is nice. Rancor, sure. That's a 6-turn clock currently. Alright, we have the answer for that. So we're actually in a fine position here. Despite our, like, a million dead cards in hand. I don't really want them drawing the Spirit Dancer. It means pathing now, because otherwise they can crack Canopy in response. But I really don't want them to have the Spirit Dancer. I think that's just, like, really bad for us. So I guess I just have to do it now, on that basis. We have another Spirit Dancer? Fuck everything. Jeez. That's so good. Alright, we can snap path it, I guess. And the Snapcaster trades with the Bogle if they don't draw an enchantment. I could keep it secret that I have the Snapcaster, but I really don't want them to, I really don't want them to draw cards. So I'm just going to do it now. Oh, they didn't search. That makes sense, Mason. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. You're right. I like how we have 4 dead cards in hand at the moment. It's kind of great. Maybe we're meant to, like, let them go to main phase, because maybe one of our best outs this game is, like, hoping they just don't have any enchantments and that we get to block, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like the best plan. So now we need a D-Sphere for these Rancors. Oh, what did Canister say? Yeah, just didn't search. Sorry, Canister said that, sorry. I misread. Alright, Detention Sphere, 1 time. And then multiple other good cards in a row afterwards, I guess. Okay. Well, we have 0 castables in hand. I guess they're technically castable, but... Grim. I wish we didn't throw game 1. We could have, we should have tutored for another settle game 1 rather than settling them. And just, like, gone to free life. T-Sphere is still dead. Oh yeah, we're still dead to the Bogle. Oh, that's true. That's true. I'm wrong. So we're now 2-on-1. This still feels more coherent than the Battle of Wits deck, which is nice. And you get to do the teachings chains and control mirrors. So I still like the direction this is heading in. The direction it's heading in is 60 cards blue-white control, incidentally. Without mystical teachings or gifts ungivens, but I mean, we could play Esper Charm. I don't know that I want to push my mana that much. Like, at the moment, the really light black splash is kind of nice. We, like, never have to get black mana in the early game. You just, like, find it eventually. But Esper Charm is reasonable. Illumination is, like, a bit less than reasonable. This is a 108 cards teaching deck. Correct. There's an accurate description of what we are playing. Wow, this hand's great. This is like a normal blue-white hand. We did bring in Fracturing Gust, yes. Oh my god, Phil. Oh my god. Jeez. That's kind of brutal. Spirits. Alright, we're gonna get bodied by spirits. Cool. Cool. We have a lot of Wraths in the deck, so like maybe we have a chance. They're also on a pretty steep mulligan. They're on 5 cards. So I think we have a chance this game at least, before they brought in lots more counter magic. Will I be at the Guilds of Ravnica pre-release? Unsure. I am not decided on that one yet. Like, the thing is, it's just like going to a pre-release instead of like streaming me playing sealed just seems like worse for me, I guess. Is the thing. I'm just gonna get this out of there. It's like kind of annoying. I don't really want to get this spell quellered if I try and block. Like, streaming my pre-releases just seems like much higher EV for me. In terms of like helping grow the stream and stuff. Also, I guess the one upside of me going to a pre-release is the main pre-releases I enjoy playing are the two-headed giant ones, because I find it a lot easier to just like take them casually, I guess. So it would give me an opportunity to play two-headed giant, which is nice. I'd be kind of into that. Condemning having a Condemn stuffed under a spell queller is really awkward. Oh well. I can like clique in combat to try and block, and then if the clique trades with something, I get the Condemn back. I just have to get like the spell queller out of their hand at some point. It's like always going to be annoying for the entire game. Jace. Kinda want to dump that in the yard, is that crazy? Bouncing the Spell Queller doesn't sound great because I just lose my Condemn. Helps me flip my search faster. Like, if I fate seal with this, they only need a Lord to kill Jace anyway. Yeah, I think I'm winning Jace. I think I agree. Alright. Teachings is interesting. Guess I just pass the turn here. I could main phase click. I don't get to ambush Spell Queller. But I get to like make sure they can't Coco me, which is nice. Aether Vial, Forest. I would not like to take either of those cards, no. Those are both acceptable. In fact. I think I'm just gonna trade here. Just like get the body off the board before they can draw a path for my clique. I think the Vial's pretty good in the deck. I was always impressed with the Vials. You just like need 1 mana things to do. Alright, we just want to cast a fairy, so we are not putting that in the graveyard. Go fetch a Prairie Stream. Yeah, Vial's always going to be bad for turn 5, but like, Mausoleum Wanderer isn't great on turn 5, right? You just need early things to do. It's not like Hierarch's good on turn 5 either. Like, Hierarch's like the best thing you could possibly do on turn 1, and then on turn 5 is like kind of garbage, but like, they're a tempo deck, right? They want to do things early. Yeah, the games where it taps for 12 mana, it's completely ludicrous. Like, just very unrealistic. And that makes up for it. Alright, just get to sit here with our 2 JMD tomes ticking up. Alright. Pass the turn. I think I don't cast Teachings here. I think I just float mana. If they don't do anything in my end step, I'm like pretty happy. It's a Wanderer. Alright. Well, we know they didn't play that last turn, so that means they drew it for the turn. So that means I can now go ahead and Teachings quite happily. I guess this lets them know about the Teachings, which is not great. I'm sure we'll be fine. Yeah, now they know that we're getting a path, so they can't, like, they can only really attack with 1 creature at a time, but if they want to do that, I'm, like, very happy with that, so I don't really see it as a big problem that they know about this, even though we could obviously have done this a bit better. Let's get this path. And the next turn we get to like Teachings for another path. If we want. Just try and keep this Teferi alive. So they kind of just want to attack only the Spell Queller if they don't have anything. Because now we get to Condemn the Wanderer. This could mean they have a Coco or something, which would be brutal. Nope. Have I decided what the next sub goal is? It's probably going to be something like 100 subs. I'm not sure what it's going to be though. I'm going to update the thing at top once we have finished tomorrow's stream, wherever that leaves us. Like, just always doing it back-to-back 12-hour streams seems kind of boring, but it's like not feasible for me to do 24-hour streams because of my living situation. So, kind of a tough one. I think I want some Dispels. Timely's pretty bad against them because all their creatures fly. Clique, like, blocks and trades fine. Almost wondering if we just don't want this stuff against their counter magic. Is there anything worse? The negates aren't great. The negates are just worse dispels, right? They hit vials, but yeah, they're just like straight up worse dispels. I don't know, Socrasta. If we get a good result this league, I might just keep playing with this, because this is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this a lot. Honestly. Wall of Omens are like similarly not great, but they do cycle. So like Wall of Omens are kind of on the chopping block too. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, Bill. I'm pretty sure that's in line with the London economy. Which creature would be rather rights into play? I assume Iona. We just name white. She's not great against them, but Elesh Norn doesn't even do much. Once they have like a couple lords in play, I guess you're like normally dead once they have a couple lords in play, but maybe we still want the Elesh Norn anyway, just on 7 mana, it's like a fine thing to cast. One of these to cycle. We're like not happy about it, but it's probably fine. Probably better than anything in the board. Only Russian oligarchs can buy a house in London. Accurate. Pretty much Socrasta. I'm actually looking to move out of London for that reason. I think this hand is probably a bit bad against spirits, alas. Alright, this is not great. We need to draw some early interaction, but the Day of Judgment is like something to build towards. Unfortunately, they're pretty good at like countering Day of Judgment if you don't do anything else beforehand. But we'll get there eventually. Yeah, it varies a lot depending where you are. If you live in the north, it's like cheaper. Obviously, if you live in the countryside, it's a bit cheaper, etc. Oh my god, George. Well, that's a Thalia. That's not bad. And a Maulin Haunt is also pretty good at grinding us out. Yeah, London is kind of silly. Oh wow. They're trying to cast an Ether Vial. Nice sequencing. Strong. Your card does in fact have text. I wonder when an opponent's gonna realize. I'm like tempted to send them a message. I was a student up until like a couple weeks ago, so that was mainly what I was doing. But like I say, long term I'm looking to move out of London. Especially if the streaming thing ends up working, then finding somewhere I could like realistically live off of streaming and articles and such would be a good idea. So, I need to find somewhere to go at some point. Thing is, it needs to be somewhere that's not, like, far away from somewhere that has good transport links. Because obviously I travel a lot for magic stuff. I've sent an opponent a message saying the Thalia makes Ether Vial cost more. So yeah, how many is 250? It's like $2.50 per sub. So that's about 600. Like, once I actually get a contract for article writing, that would probably be about right. On top. How safe is Peterborough? So that's like the three main things I'm concerned with. I don't know how you get this intersection. Would be cost of living, ability to like travel easily, and not getting stabbed. Not getting stabbed is important. I value that one highly. Not getting stabbed, lowest on the list. Oh my god. Luton's good on that first too. Oh my god. Yeah, that's my worry about most of the London surrounding cheap places. They are not great on the not getting stabbed front. In fact. Not getting stabs overrated. Disagree. Disagree. I rate not getting stabbed appropriately highly. Geez, Sam, must be nice. The draw's been kinda mopey so far. Obviously the Thalia is really good against us, but I guess our draw's also been mopey, so you know, not one to judge. Kind of to kill the Moorland Horn. I'm not sure that's worth 2 life to me though, to do right now. I might get rid of it at some other point. The other day you could see a burning car out of your window. That is not the sort of thing I've ever seen in London, I will admit. It's really awkward. If we desphere the Thalia, they get to Coco. So I almost just want to like play Hallowed Fountain, kill the Moorland Haunt. That's my turn. It sounds like a lot. Definitely sounds like a lot. They just don't have anything else. I assume if they had anything else, they'd be deploying it. Other than like a pile of Cocos, which we probably are going to struggle to beat from this position. Jeez, George, that's kind of rough. Oh, now if we Field of Ruin them, they get an extra mana. So bad at this game. I guess I should have upkeep fielded them. Well, now I'm just not going to field them. I guess they get to Queller my Day of Judgment, but then I get to like try and desphere the Queller. I don't really want to give them an extra mana so they can Coco. Get this Thalia out of play, she's quite annoying. Or at least trade with a counterspell anyway. Incoming Rattlechain / in Mausoleum Wanderer. I am also happy to own 0 cars. They sound like kind of a pain to me, if I'm being completely honest. Alright, we go to 7. Because of the Thalia, we can't actually desphere with Remand up. We're kind of forced into desphering. At least if the desphere, like, Day of Judgment's the board, we then have Remand up for a Coco, which is something. Alright. Anyway. Why not just leave up Colonnade to block? Oh, that's reasonable. That might be better. Unsure. If they Coco end of our turn, it's like gets pretty rough. They can just go around the Colonnade. There's like not a lot we can do about that, but maybe we're just like in a pretty rough place against Coco this game regardless. Maybe we should just like pretend they don't have Coco. This is Mystical Teachings, Harlook. We threw it together because the Battle of Wits, part of Battle of Wits kind of sucked, but the Mystical Teachings Gifts Ungiven part was sick. So, here we are. We're running like 108 cards because it helps with Mystical Teachings and Gifts for various reasons. I think I'm just dead. I don't think there's anything I can draw to Teferi. Teferi is like 6 mana. I guess if they cast something in my end step, I can remand into a Settle. So I should probably just pass the turn, see if they mess up. Yeah, maybe I was just meant to leave Colonnade up. Maybe I'm just never beating a Collected Company anyway. And having Colonnade to block is like fairly problematic for them. And that's probably correct. Oh well. Alas. Right, we get to be on the play now. We mold to like a pretty mopey 6 there. I guess their draw was kind of mopey too, so. I almost wonder if the Pulse of the Fields is better than something we currently have in our deck, but I'm not sure. Assuming the answer is probably no. Right, certainly an Unburial Rites. We do have Teferis. Oh, if you mean the other Teferi, the other Teferi is just bad. Any situation in which you'd want to tutor the other Teferi, it's normally better just to get another Mystical Teachings and keep that chain going instead. Just so that, like, the thing is, you need, like, 3-ish Mystical Teachings in your deck to, like, get the chains going in the control mirrors. But you don't want to draw Mystical Teachings too often, because you can simply only have so many 4-mana spells in your deck. So, like, the weird conclusion of all of that is you just end up wanting, like, more than 60 cards. So that you have, like, enough... like, copies of Mystical Teachings, but don't draw them too often. It's also good with the Rites, Iona, Elesh, Norn package, because it means in theory you draw those cards less often. In practice, we've been drawing them a lot, but you know. Oh, Teferi to bounce the Quello. No, you're right. We should have done that, London. Sorry, I've been streaming a while. I just missed that. You are correct. That would have been very good. I've just been streaming for like 5.5 hours, so my play starts to slip a bit. That's not a bad one. Okay. So now we can go like Island Prairie Stream. Or Tapland Prairie Stream. Either or. They just have no early pressure. That's really nice for us. Next time we're going to have Cryptic up. I guess we can just go get a Hallowed Fountain and this can get an island. No need to use up the Prairie Stream quite yet. It's all basically the same though. We also get an Irrigated Farmland out of my deck. Maybe that was better, since those can't come in untapped. Could see that being a touch better. The old upkeep spell queller. Play around Cryptic. I think I'm happy to Cryptic basically anything here. Just to get my value. And dig a bit deeper. I'm gonna crack this now anyway. If they go to cast something, I can still just logic knot it or whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. Missing land drops is kind of brutal. When they're like hitting their land drops over there. Now you're just confused. Don't worry, we all are. We all are really. Someone's got a spell queller. Spell queller's really good against logic knot. I guess having a Cryptic trapped under a spell queller isn't the end of the world. If we draw a land for a Teferi, it's just absurd. Like making them tap out here. I'm just going to do this. If they go to spell queller this and we draw an untapped land, it's just like great for us. So Geist. Alright. Am I just playing the good cards from yesterday? Something like that. This card's threatening. I guess I Teferi plus just to buy time. I've got to settle for this, but I need another mana to do it with logic knot backup. Really? I think I'm just gonna Teferi plus. It'll soak up some damage from the Geist. Dig us a card deeper towards a verdict or something. So what's actually happening, Fex, is I liked the Mystical Teachings Gifts part of the deck against my better judgment yesterday quite a lot. But I didn't want to just play a 60 card deck because then you just can't fit in enough like physical copies of Gifts and Teachings for it to be worth it. So we went down a rabbit hole a bit. We are, like, resoundingly down a rabbit hole right now. Both at Teferi. So I go Path to get another draw and 2 mana out of Teferi. I think this is fine, though. Teferi acted as, like, a reasonable fog. Now we get to cycle these, try and find a verdict. Or just more lands. More lands is also good. I think I have to cycle this as well. So now we can settle with Logic Knot up. That seems reasonable. Decent chance they have enough interaction for that to not be good enough, but we're also kind of forced to go for it, since we're quite far behind at the moment. This is clearly the optimal build of blue-white control. Agree. Complete agreement. That is a 1/1 Spirit Friend. Makes it a 2-turn clock. It's like actually kind of nice for them. What the fuck? Oh my god, this cavern is brutal. Alright, this means I can settle plus Path, which is something. At least. So let's go Settle the Wreckage. Yep. Oh, they can't actually spell queller this very well. You're watching my descent into madness, Jake. You're watching my descent into madness. No, we only went 4-1 with Battle of Wits, alas. They have 5 mana. So we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, resolves. Thank fuck. Oh, now we need them to not have a second Geist. Please? No second Geist. No! God damn. Oh, it's a 2-2. I can beat a 2-2. Never mind. I was scared for a moment. Phew. Look at me being scared and all they did is play a 2-2. Yeah, sorry. I've answered this like 10 times. Yeah, it's for... You want teachings plus gifts. I wanted to try teachings plus gifts in order to, like, have enough physical room in the deck for those cards. And have enough copies of those cards. You just need to make the deck really large, because otherwise you have a million 4-drops. Yeah, this one's less scary than Geist, I'm not gonna lie. I really want to cycle this. I also feel like I have to kind of wait on that to hold up Logic Knot. It's like really hard to meaningfully Logic Knot anything at the moment, but... I can Despair this. It's kind of awkward, because the Oust is like really hard to cast against some things, but... I'm sure we'll be fine. Alright, no more Geists for like a couple turns, please. Yeah, there are some really nice ones, Acrosta, agree. Alright, we can't Logic Knot that anyway. Not that we would. Pretty happy to oust that, I think, if we can. That one's good. Resolves. I love how the Moorland Horn is just like not getting any use here. Oh no, by letting this pump we can't path this now. I'm stupid. I now have to path it in my turn. Oh well, it's fine. We will live. I kind of want to oust it anyway, if I can, and save my instant speed interaction. I mean, I guess it means they get to redraw this, but I think I'm fine with them redrawing it. Since it's not like a counter spell. Or a Coco. Something we can just like cleanly 1-for-1 with. Not too bothered by this Wanderer, so I'm just going to pass the turn here. I guess they can use the Moorland Haunt to pump the Wanderer, which is annoying. That's interesting, actually. I can also just stop them drawing the Lord this turn by pathing the Wanderer too, which is nice. This might be incorrect. This might be incorrect. I'm unsure. I'm not really sure what I'm meant to be doing here. I just need to draw into some card advantage soon. I need to draw into a Gifts or, yeah, they can sack it, but that is fine. Like, obviously they can make a token now, but if I can draw into a Gifts or a Teachings, we're in a fine spot. But we do need to do that soon, just so we can, like, find some card advantage. Because at the moment we're just 1-for-1ing ourselves into oblivion, and like these cards look pretty awkward. How are we doing? We're 2-1 currently, which is not bad going. Alright. What did we lose to? Good question. We beat Ad Nauseam. That much I know for sure. I kind of lose track against what we play against on these long streams. What did we lose to last round? I'm sure someone in chat knows the answer to that. Oh, we lost to Bogles. We lost to Bogles because I misplayed pretty badly in game 1. Yeah, we lost to Bogles. I played really badly, Marcus. I played, like, way too risk-averse. Yeah, the Blessed Alliance was amazing, but I didn't really use my life total as a resource properly. I played, like, fairly scared when I shouldn't have. Now they can resolve the Spirit Lord. They have a Spell Queller. We're probably pretty dead. Oh, you are answering. Derp. Yep. This is not quite good enough. We can get rid of this, I guess. I guess we can get rid of the Drug Skull Captain. And then we're just dead next turn, though. I think I'd rather try and find a Wrath effect. Or a Mystical Teachings or something. I don't think we win the game by just getting rid of the Drug Skull Captain. Because then we're, like, forced to draw a good card next turn anyway. So you might as well draw it this turn and have, like, 3 extra life. Sucks. That's kind of heartbreaking. Just like couldn't find a teachings or a gifts in our top 30 cards. So we had like, we were like just 1-for-1ing, but running out of cards in the process. Because they naturally just have like less lands in their deck and such. Island is a very good card, you're not wrong. Island is a good card, but not in that situation. Alright, I want the 3-2. If I get the 3-2, it gives me enough validation to continue working on this. This hand kind of does nothing. So I guess I'm keeping. Exclamation mark mulliganing. That's the disadvantage of teachings decks. Sometimes you draw elephants. Oh my god. We took the elephant out though, Sacrasta. We took the elephant out. Why are we drawing elephants? Hashtag nevermore. We also drew 0 creatures for the Unburial Rites. Which is like, kind of funny. Like, obviously not drawing an Iona or Elesh Norn is like, whatever. But we didn't draw like a Snapcaster or a Vendilion Clique. It's kind of amusing. It was a metaphorical elephant. In the last game, Unburial Rites was the elephant. Oh my god. I'm gonna lose to Restore Balance to miss out on our 3-2. I'm excited. Alright, let's get a Hallowed Fountain. Alright. Well, it was fun. Yep, the balance is coming. Post board we get Stonies. We get to board up to 4 negates as well. Maybe we can win this. But this game is a bit rough. Ooh, they have the Gargadon. Maybe we're meant to play Field of Ruin. Maybe we're meant to play the Field of Ruins first, because now if they balance us, we lose, like, our coloured sources. That's actually a valid point, right? We're probably meant to play the Field of Ruins first. Indeed it didn't. Who would have thought? Who'd have thought that that would be the case? Alright, I'm going to hold the Glacial Fortress for the reasons we have already discussed, involving Restore Balance. There was no minimum deck size. What would be the best deck? Unsure. There must be some busted stuff you can do. Like some 7-card win the game opening hands, but then everyone starts playing like Pact of Negations. Things get really weird. Jace the Mind Sculptor. I guess I'm casting Jace the Mind Sculptor. And like crossing my fingers. That's fair, 80 cards instead of 108. It's probably not unreasonable. I'm just like so bad at cutting cards though, and this is like the perfect excuse to not not cut cards from the deck. Alright, let's just 0 here. I could start plussing on them, but I need to find lands for if they restore balance me. I guess raw drawing of cards is not very good against restore balance, but hitting our land drops is nice, and finding this remand too. Now if we untap, we're probably favoured, honestly. I kind of want to hide stuff, because then if they make me discard with restore balance, I just get rid of the Garbo. That makes sense. Get a bit punished if they like Jace plus on me, but that's so improbable. Getting closer and closer to 60 card blue-white control. I know, right? The dream is dying. Untapping with Jace the Mind Sculptor does in fact make you favoured. This is a thing I've determined via much careful testing. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. So we need to discard 2 cards. So I guess I get rid of Settle and Oust. Oh wait, I choose 4 to keep. I choose 4 to keep. Okay. So I keep the lands. I keep the Remand, and I guess I keep Blessed Alliance because it deals with the Gargadon really nicely. Alright. Back to the Stone Age. We have reached peak modern. We have indeed. The fact they didn't, they've been kind of punished for not restore balancing in their own turn, right? Just like letting us cast Jace seems pretty bad for them. Keep hiding good cards on top. Because of restore balance. Next time we get to have Blessed Alliance up for the Gargadon, which is pretty nice, and have Remand up for another restore balance. And even Remand or Gargadon if we wanted, but kind of like making sure they can't balance us again. Right, please no Nahiri. Nahiri would be brutal. Oblivion Ring, also pretty good. So it's fine though, we get to have Remand up now. We like building towards a Gifts Ungiven at some point. They should have sacked the O-Ring with the trigger on the stack, right? To a Gargadon. So that the Jace is gone forever. You thought these just play as foretold? I think some of them do. The lists like vary a lot though. Oh my god, Planeswalker. Gross. I guess I have to remand that. Can't really beat a Nahiri right now. Surprisingly. Oh, you can't sack enchantments? No, you're right. I always forget that the Gargadon doesn't just do actual everything. So if I do this off an island, I can keep a path if I draw one. keep path up for a Gargadon, should that end up mattering. Alright, gonna want to bottom both of these. We've got a land drop already. We need to find an answer to Nahiri, like, immediately. Wall of Omens is nice against Gargadon, just to, like, buy a turn, whilst we're digging for Nahiri answers. As foretold on 10 casts Gargadon, we broke it. I guess Marcus broke it. I'm fairly confident that has happened somewhere in the world, Mike. I can punch Nahiri with my Ambush Viper, this is true, that buys me a turn. It's kind of awkward putting a creature in play for... I guess they play the Exalted Cascade spell, right? Instead of the one that targets a creature. So it actually doesn't make a difference. Why is that, George? Fiery Justice. Well, this is close to being able to reset Nahiri, so that's nice. And we have Snap Remand up. Snap can obviously hit Nahiri to buy us time too. Yeah, Nahiri's ult is like absurdly fast. She wasn't really designed with like Emrakul the Aeon Storm in mind, right? Which kinda changes things a bit. Okay, resolves. Resolves. Am I casting Gifts or Illumination? I can Gifts for Nahiri answers. I can Gifts for cast out D-Sphere and 2 good cards to answer her. It's probably reasonable. What would the other cards be? I kind of want one of them to like be something that actually answers her. I can also Cryptic Bounce to reset her potentially. Oh, that's reasonable, Marcus. That would make sense for lore reasons, yeah. I didn't think of that at all. I could go to Teferi as well. Teferi land, cast out D-Sphere. Let's make you sack enchantments. Alright, it doesn't. Alright, let's get to Teferi, land, D-Sphere cast out. She was designed with Emrakul in mind. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because of the lore. That's really neat. Like, a card actually being kind of designed with modern in mind. So we get Teferi. D-Sphere. Cast out. And I guess Prairie Stream. Or what is it? The Glacial Fortress land. Yeah, just like 13ing them is like not that impressive in Ultimate. This seems good. In order for them not to give us a D-Sphere effect, we get land plus Teferi that can just like tuck her to buy time. So like either way, we should be able to delay this ultimate, provided they don't have a restore balance right now. If they have a restore balance, we're like super dead, but there's not a lot we can do about that. This is sorcery. It is, so we can't bring in Dispels versus it, sadly. I'm excited to have Stony Silence in our deck. That sounds amazing. Oh, that makes sense, Caius. That's actually really flavorful. Yeah. It's kind of neat. Alright, I'd like to Teferi minus on your Nahiri to reset her. Bring in Meddling Mage and name Gargadon. Oh my god, Freed. Alright, they did not have a restore balance, so we get to keep playing Magic, which is nice. We are the trash bracket. Hell yeah, Caius. We're dragging down the quality of Magic Online. All our opponents are like, what are they doing? This is bad news. Looks like they're about to restore some balance. Oh, because they're going to cast the Exalted Cascader. Or they're just going to cast a Violent Outburst, sure. So you have to go down to one card in hand. Oh my god. Alright, Teferi, you've got work to do. I think I'm getting rid of all the non-land cards. And then I can try and find a path next turn. I still have like 4 paths left in my deck. Oh wait, they can sack artifacts, we're just losing the Teferi too. This deck is somewhat miserable to play against. The full spoiler's out. Sick. Probably not going to look at it right now, because streaming, but very curious to see it later. Yeah, they get to 18 us even, if they make both Gargadons. They can just like ignore Teferi and hit us. There were 2 Gargadons suspended, lassie. Okay, alright, I'm convinced I'm dead. Opponent is quite deep. I mean, this is a known quantity, opponent stack. I've seen it a bunch, but it's kind of gross. Alright, bring in Stonies, Fracturing Gust. Probably Surgicals, to be honest. And Negates. Maybe even Clique. We can cut like lots of Wrath effects. They seem kind of terrible. Iona on white actually seems amazing, right? Hits Restore Balance, Nahiri, Oblivion Ring. I mean, it's a known deck in that like, people know about it. And there are, like, lists that people play. I don't mean that it actually puts up results. I'm probably going to bring these in. We have, like, enough bad cards. And these can hit traps if they play Ricochet Trap. It's like a reasonable card for our opponent to have in their list. I mean, people like what they like, George. Like, Ari Lax plays Restore Balance occasionally. Like, this is fine. I'm gonna opt and a Negate. We're pretty fast reasonable at this point. Oh, did we not bring in Stonies? Am I stupid? Okay, we did bring in Stonies, thank God. I was worried for a moment. I'm pretty sure we have Stonies in our board anyway. Stony is just, like, great against them. Greater Gargadon has entered the Exile zone. Alright. Cast this opt. We're looking for lands or counters. Land is great. Another land, also great. Could get down my tap land this turn. I think I'm fine just running out the fortress though. Are you suggesting, George, that I am not on my own going to break mystical teachings? The 4-mana draw a card in the reasonably fast format of Modern. I think we're actually in a fine spot here. We've got 2 counters and a Blessed Alliance for the Gargadon once it comes in. You would say that is a certainty. I would also say that. I'm mainly just doing this because I enjoy it. Wow, just like no border posts? That's kind of unreal. Well, if they go end of turn balance into like a Planeswalker, we have answers for both, which is great. It does feel like that low house, you're not wrong. It most definitely feels like that. It's really awkward. We can't go for these in their end step because then they just like get to balance us. I guess they lose all their lands if they do that. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's actually fine. They lose their free lands and we lose our free and then like we move on. Oh no, we only lose 1 land even. No, this is great. This is great. I'm being stupid. What am I talking about? Because they just haven't drawn border posts. They can't Stone Rain us properly. Like, Restore Balance doesn't even do anything. I discard 4, but it's like whatever. We still get to keep the good cards. I think we'd move on quite happily. Modern is kind of ludicrous. Modern is an adventure. Ooh, this makes Restore Balance a bit better. Resolves. I really want to gifts at some point soon. So that I can get an Iona into play. I guess I can play it patient and gifts next turn. Just like keep holding up counter magic. Nice. Alright, so this turn I get to gifts, find Iona Rites. Next turn I put an Iona into play. With Negate backup. We have a Blessed Light for the Gargadons, we're not too worried about that. They're gonna restore balance in response. Wow. Okay. Wild. I mean, we're still just miles ahead at the moment. I don't think I care very much. We get a Jace in play too. Get rid of this land and this illumination, I suppose. Yeah, Terminus was kind of rough for Living End, for sure. It made the control matchup a lot harder. I was not expecting Counterflex either. They need counter spells that can't be cascaded into, though. It's like kind of one that makes sense, I guess. Now we have Negate this spell up, so we're feeling pretty safe. Once we untap with Jace, like, the game ends. Like a wall of counter magic. Desert Ceradon is quite large. It is a large critter. I guess they could cast a threat, sack everything for Gargadon to kill out Jace. That sounds not great. Just start plussing Jace? I refuse. I don't think you understand how much I like brainstorming Freed. I'm a fan of brainstorm your opponent until they concede. What is this? Nahiri. I would like to negate your Nahiri. This means the Jace is disappearing, but whatever, we'll live. We will survive. They're gonna lose all their lands in the process. We can't even reasonably deck just brainstorm. Oh my god, that's so great. We actually can't deck ourselves from brainstorming. A derp, a herp. So many cards. This is great. This game is like very over. I don't think I've ever decked in Legacy, other than with Dredge. I've decked with Dredge before. That was kind of grim. And I've decked with Miracles once. I decked with Miracles once, because I had no win-cons left. Because they landed a Pithing Needle on Jace, and I had no outs to Pithing Needle anymore. All my other win-cons had been answered. Maybe I should have, oh, you've seen that, oh my god, Mike. Painter's Servant doesn't count. I guess it does count, but that is not in the spirit of what Lassie was talking about. Huh, that's interesting. It's interesting, Jake. I'm looking forward to trying out those sort of cards pretty soon on stream. I'm very excited for guilds to release on Modo. Lots of cards I want to try. Surgical Extraction, whatever. Sure. I kind of want the Surgical just to, like, know what's in their deck, if I'm being honest. I also want them to, like, play this out, because we're eating into their clock a lot, since they're not really doing anything of meaning. I guess I wait for a Restore Balance to hit the yard, and then a Surgical. It's, like, kind of reasonable. Terminus Snapcaster Loop, oh my god. 8 mana, put a Snapcaster on the bottom of your library. Draw it again. Put a Snapcaster as the only card in your library, rather. Gargadon incoming. I guess they're about to cast the Suspend spell. Maybe. Alright, so we're going to counter the Restore Balance, and then we're going to take a look at their deck list. So, Negate. See what's going on over here. Emrakul, Nahiri, Ardent Plea. That is a hell of a hand over there. They have 2 Ricochet Traps, 3 Asphodel. They still have Fiery Justice in the deck. I guess it kills Planeswalkers. They have 2 Oblivion Ring, 2 Wear Tear. So they have some answers for Stony. I think they might have actually boarded down on Border Post, which makes sense against Stony as well. Alright. Oh, I should have taken the one from the yard. Now they can discard Emrakul to shuffle the restore balance. Embarrassing. Yeah, I forgot the graveyard squirmet. Messed up. Oh, they didn't cast the Ardent Plea for the Exalted trigger. Missing out on the Exalted trigger. It's like so sad. It is indeed. Alright, I'm gonna play around some spirit guides here. You never know. We know 2 of their cards in hand aren't spirit guides, but whatever. It's all irrelevant anyway. Okay. Just run it back. Deck's perfect. By perfect, I mean pretty far off perfect, but like pretty gargantuanly far off perfect. We have a Logic Knot. I'm probably meant to keep this. We have a Logic Knot. We have good mana. I can cycle the cast out if need be, but the cast out's also like not the worst against Nahiri. Okay, incoming border post, I assume. What? That's a lot of spirit guides. I think they might have used more spirit guides than they... Oh my god. Jesus. That's a turn 1. Fuck. Uh-huh. Oh boy. Lands, please. The worst thing is we know they have spells in hand because they're not playing lands out. So eventually they're just gonna like cast a Gargadon over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is a game of Magic that happened. That was a true moderning. The truest of modernings. Oh my god. Hashtag competitive league. Turn 4 format, I know, right? Turn 4 format. Nahiri's not that big of a threat when you have no permanents to be annihilated. Oh. Alright. I think it's about time I played some actual decks. I'm tired of losing.